What's going on, workforce? Brian here for Work to Game, and today we're talking about a brand new Final Fantasy MMORPG, which unfortunately seems to be built for mobile platforms. I'm here talking today about Final Fantasy XV Mobile MMORPG, and this news is coming from the Endless website. I'll include a link in the description below so you can go check out the article for yourselves, give them some love for writing this up. We really have a lot of information to contain here. But first, let me say that this video is brought to you by Raid Shadow. just kidding. Mobile games suck. All right. I'm sorry. I just had to do it. There's so many people that I keep getting those ads. Oh my God. Anyway, let's dive in. It looks like we've got some lots to talk about. JSC and Square-Enix have partnered up to develop a Final Fantasy XV mobile MMORPG. This is really interesting because this actually was announced back in 2017 for China. They were going to make this mobile game based in the world of Final Fantasy XV. If there wasn't enough of the expanded universe that I mean, 15, I love the game. I just wish it was self-contained. I wish I could get all of it all together like in one package. Obviously, you can buy that now, but as it was released out and piecemealed. Anyway, I've talked about that before on the channel. That's not what this video is going to be about. We're going to cover this information. I want to know your thoughts about Final Fantasy XV mobile MMORPG. Hopefully we'll get a kind of a more official name. So anyway, like I said, it was announced back in 2017, and now they're doing even more work with it. So essentially they're announcing the game officially as an MMORPG for mobile platforms. And let's dive into the information. So it says Korean game developers JSC and Square-Enix, the Japanese games behind countless beloved games, have announced that they will be working on a brand new mobile game based in the world of Final Fantasy XV. They'll also be partnering up with another game development studio, Gaia, to create this game, while Shanghai Original Pearl will publish the game, which aims to release the game in the Chinese market first. Now, Final Fantasy XV Mobile MMORPG is going to be obviously an MMORPG based off of the Final Fantasy XV that was released back on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in November 2016. Now, unlike the original game, this spin-off is going to be large-scale multiplayer optimized for the mobile environment. You can enjoy various battles with simplified touch operations, and it will also have new content that was not included in the original story of Final Fantasy XV. That's a shocker right there. Further expanding the game's lore and world. Now, additional information is also going to reveal that the story is set in a parallel world of the original Final Fantasy XV setting. The story begins shortly after Prince Noctis began his journey with the Royal Road. The player becomes the main character, travels with her friends, and saves the world from threats. In addition to the existing world map, new areas such as the Great Pagoda and contents of the Floating Sky will be added. The concept for this mobile MMO spin-off will revolve around the origin of mythology, and it will implement elements from Final Fantasy XV Royal Edition, the JRPG game for PS4, and the new mobile game will also be created in Unreal Engine 4. Now, this is me as an aside. Unreal Engine 4, really interesting. I really like that they're doing that. Seems that this gives me hope that we could see it on other platforms, so we'll have to wait and see if that is the case. Obviously, mobile just doesn't cut it for me. So the CEO of SJC says they're really going to try to implement this game so that it really feels like a Final Fantasy game, especially with 15 with its immersive story and attractive characters. Now, these two development teams that have been brought on to help on the project, SJC and Gaia, are no strangers to Square-Enix games, and they've actually worked on them with them before. Multiple Final Fantasy titles they've teamed up with, the Hitman series and Just Cause. So it seems like they've got this long working relationship with Square-Enix. Now, 15 mobile MMORPG, I just can't wait to see what kind of name they can come up with, because saying that is a mouthful in and of itself. Is going to first be released in China, but they're planning on a global market release already. So more information about the game is obviously going to be revealed with the official trailer at the first half of this year. I could expect sometime maybe like around E3. That seems like a big kind of announcement around that time. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we have no release date. There's no more information at this. This is kind of breaking news. Really interesting stuff. Okay, so that's everything we know about 15 Mobile. As somebody who actually really enjoyed the multiplayer aspect of 15, aside from all the crazy loading times, there was something I think there. I felt like it was like a diamond in the rough. There are so many interesting aspects to that game, and it was delivered very piecemeal to the player base. And I think that unfortunately did 15 a disservice. Could a MMORPG set in the world of 15 kind of round that story out, flesh it out, dive into the areas that they kind of touched on that really left me curious? Well, yes. But anybody who's been a part of the workforce probably knows what I'm about to say. Where's my Final Fantasy XI remaster? Remake? I know that we know Final Fantasy XI Mobile R has been long in development. And to see that they're doing a 15 mobile MMORPG is really weird. I, as an 11 fan, am a little frustrated. As an 11 fan, this news doesn't necessarily sit well. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say this isn't exciting news, because this could be something amazing if I can play it on something other than my phone. And maybe that's just a generational thing. Maybe that's just a text. It's actually more of a textile thing. I just don't like holding a phone and playing a game for a long period of time. And that's it. Give me a controller. Then I'm happy. And that is so sad that I feel like that's my litmus test in this entire conversation. The other concerns obviously are monetization. A 15 mobile game built for the Chinese market obviously wouldn't be the same version of it that comes over here. When you look at how Final Fantasy, especially with 14, is implemented in China, it's different. They have different features, they have different monetization strategies, because they have to. That's just how the world works. So them putting it out in China first, kind of working out the kinks, could end up being a benefit for everybody. But obviously mobile mindsets are very transactional, very I'm trying to be like kind of polite about it, because I do believe in personal responsibility, but we also do know that these games and game companies know how to kind of push our buttons. There's a war of human psychology at play when it comes to game development and microtransactions, and depending on your age and maybe what you struggle with, some adults struggle with addiction and gambling, and obviously the implications of what this means for a mobile MMORPG are probably baked into those gacha mechanics, into that fear of missing out mechanic, into that give us your money mechanic. A mechanic that really hasn't ever really worked on me. I'm not the market for that. I'm not their ideal player, because I'm not somebody who spends money on it. So yeah, I'm so at odds with this news. I don't know if you can tell that just from my voice. Okay, like, great, 15 mobile, do it. Give me more. Let me play it somewhere besides just mobile. Crossplay, cross-save. Let's do this thing. I actually really like the world of 15. I think it's really interesting and exciting to see, and hopefully allows the story to be fleshed out. They could even tell a better story. We don't know in the end. So that's where my opinion ends, and where hopefully your opinion begins. Let me know in the comments below what you're thinking, what you're feeling about this, about 11 mobile, about 14. There's so much going on. It's really interesting to see. I think this is really this is kind of a catalyst to like a really epic conversation that we can have going forward, especially as it relates to Unreal, crossplay, what the MMO is going to look like over the next decade. What does it mean for Final Fantasy as a brand, and more. So sound off in the comments below. Let's have that conversation. But for Work to Game, my name is Brian. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.